So what do we do in our garden after a huge storm or hailstone event? Now, around about 5 years ago, I had a hailstorm come through my other garden where I was living on the mid-north coast on Christmas Day, believe it or not, and it hammered everything. It was like a biblical event. The garden was absolutely finished. So when I see hail now, I absolutely freak out because I'm like, oh man, so much work, so much of everything that I've done could be destroyed in literally minutes. Now what I found is you really need really strong winds with hail to do a lot of damage. Now the hail that came down, if you didn't see the last video, black storm hits Martys Garden. There was hail bouncing off the grass around about 6 feet and really big hailstones. So I was pretty concerned, and I didn't really mention much about that in the video because I was like, well, you just got to wait and see what happens. So today what I'm going to do is we're going to walk around and have a look. I've only had a quick look at what's going on, not a great deal of sort of visual aspect, but we didn't come out of it too bad. But I want to talk about what's happened and what my plan is. So basically, if it happens to you, you can look at what you might do next as well. So what we're going to do first is we're just going to sort of move through the garden beds, down through the bale garden, and then out to the front to the Victory garden and see what's happened there. Now, we've got some zucchini here, and it's not looking too bad. That one there, you can see that the leaf's just been ripped in half. This one's had a few holes in it. This guy come out much better than some of the other garden, to tell you the truth. Look at that big hole there. Wow. But it didn't break any branches. So I'm not going to do any removal of leaves on this plant as of yet. And my Tigerella tomato, look, I didn't lose that tomato. Now, the narrow leaves plants seem to get out of it much easier. I think the rocks hit them, stones hit them and just bounce away or roll away. Where a larger leaf plant, such as this, like a cucumber, just goes straight through. And you can see here where, I know that's something's chewed around the outside of that, I reckon. Anyway, you're probably going, oh, that ain't too bad, Marty. You've come out of this pretty good. But my pride and joy, my cucumber, which I've really been taking some great care of, and some of the zucchini which have got the huge giant leaves in my bale garden. Yeah, they're savable, they're salvageable, but it's a bit of a problem. You can hear the chickens whinging. They just got a big feed, so I don't know why they're whinging. You can see like leaves. So we're at the moment, I'll come back and step back. So this is the vine for the choco. And you can see like it must have come through and gone and hit the stem there, and it's like ripped it. I don't know if you can see that so much in the shot, but it's like shredded it. And yeah, it's really, I've come out of that pretty good with that guy. Now, this guy, my giant zucchini, what are you whinging about? Go lay some eggs. Go on, there's only 2 over there. We've got 6 more to come today. All right. Hanging there, going, don't know what for. Anyway, here we go. Look at this. It's just gone straight through that big stem. Now, this big stem is twice as thick as my finger, and it's one of the secondary leaves that's coming out of my zucchini there. And you can see it's a pretty good sized leaf, and it's basically just cut it straight in 2. So I've really got to come out with a secateurs and cut that off. But because it's already ripped like that, it doesn't really matter if I rip it off. But generally you want to get a nice clean cut on things to stop disease, infection, or even some plants, ants and stuff getting into that. Now, you can see here on this giant leaf here, this one's also been crushed. So unfortunately, this big bloke, he's been hit twice and taken out that leaf. Now, I was going to remove that leaf anyway because we've got to stake these guys up yet. And so this plant is fully salvageable, and a lot of the smaller leaves in the center are good. The flowers are good. It's knocked off one flower there. And so the center growth coming out is 100% salvageable. Now this big leaf, wow. And this one here, it's really done it. I might just throw this leaf in the chicken coop just for a bit of fun. I don't think they eat these. I don't think it's an edible leaf, but they'll go for it and then go, oh, that's no good. Huh? Well, I was wrong. They do eat zucchini leaves. There you go. Learn something every day, don't you? Give them a bit of a green feed because they just had a nice big organic pellet feed. And we'll head back to the garden, and then we'll move around to the front garden, so to the Victory Garden, where we've been doing this content to help people really get ahead and saving money and stuff. So it'd be interesting to see how the container garden fared out. We'll just move around the side here, do a quick overview shot and have a look what's gone down. Yeah, you can see where it's obviously smashed branches, and I don't know why it's done that. There's no dead branch there, so to speak, but that leaf has just gone. It's got to be something to do with the hail. That's because these leaves were totally fine. You can see where it's just stripped off some of that there, like that. Either it almost looks like some type of insect, but I think that's hail on there. And then, this is what can bother me, is when the small leaves, the center leaves, because this is your new growth coming out, could be having problems. And so I don't know what that is, this mottling here. Never seen it before. It's all over these leaves. That's a worry, because I've never seen that before, and it almost looks like something different to hail damage. And hopefully my giant zucchinis, look at the size of those leaves, are gonna be okay. Anyway, this is just all a part of gardening, right? We win some, we lose some, and generally you can lose, I don't mind if I lose around 10%, but some of these things I'm trying to produce ahead of time to grow on for you guys and then show you how I'm doing it. I don't get another opportunity to grow them again if something goes wrong, so it's very hard to put that into the list. Now, as we're moving through here, as we're heading to the Victory Garden, I'm looking at the concept of setting up a coaching program, because I want to try and help. My goal is to help people, yeah? And so I think it's a really great idea. Now, it would have to go off platform somewhere else, but I'm pretty sure it would be a great concept. And I'd love to hear if you were interested in coaching at your place for your garden. What would you like coaching for? Let me know in the comments box down below. Your biggest problems, things you'd like to solve or get ahead with, and or get the results that you're after. So it's something that I'm really interested in at the moment, considering coaching, and I'd love to hear what you guys have got to say, because it's always been a big part of what I do, is teaching. So we can look here, and the eggplants didn't fare off too bad. You can see a hole, rip that leaf in half. Now, it only lasted for a few minutes, so if it kept on going for longer, there would have been a lot of problem. And look how Jacoby little pumpkin. Oh, no holes in that one, because that would have been a plant that I didn't raise from seed. I bought the seedling, and so that would have been a bit tricky to go get that. And look, the flowers have survived, and there's little ants in there. They'll help with the pollination. And so, and we didn't lose our little pumpkin, and she's growing along. Oh yes, she's going to grow along there. So that is absolutely brilliant. we just got a couple of holes in these ones. So what would be my plan next for that? Well, I've just got to go through and just sort of get the secateurs and remove all the leaves that are damaged. We've got to try and keep the mental game in, because if we don't do that, we lose the aesthetics in our garden, and it reminds us of what could be or what can be. Now, we've got more storms predicted for here, and it could be a heavy storm season. We don't know. So that may be something in the future that I need to look at, or we all need to look at, in areas where you get more storm activity. Now, I've got some okra over here, and it's growing. These are like large composting worm farms, right? Now, the reason I've got this in here is just so when I water, the water goes through down into the worms, but also this heats up in here, and okra being really a subtropical, tropical crop, they like a lot of heat, so this would warm up and warm the pot up. And you can see it's gone straight through that leaf there. So I'm going to have to come through and remove that one. We'll keep that one for really good photosynthesis, and these guys will shoot out. This one's been ripped in half too. And so the sweet potato didn't come out of it too bad, which is growing in a big container like that. And our dragon fruit over here, can't even see any damage, but I think because the tree would have blocked a lot of the hail coming through, and so the passion fruit here with this guy with the dragon fruit spilling over, which needs a bit of work, no problem. And our potatoes, which is a big part of our victory garden here, they're getting more attacked by this 12 spotted lady beetle, or some of them might say there's a one called a 23 spots as well. I only counted 12 on these ones, but anything above 7 spots is really, really bad. And in the old days, they would talk about in folktales, if you had more than 7 spots of lady beetles or beetles on your crops, it meant famine. And if you had the 7 spotted beetle around, it meant great harvests. So a bit of trivia for you there. And so I've got to go through and really just have a better look on these. Karen's really good at that stuff, so I might even get her to do it. I like to squash everything that I can and avoid the sprays if possible. So we've walked around through the garden now. I'm pretty sure we've done pretty good on that. Everything looks not too bad. I've come out of this really, really lucky. So as I said before, just to sort of cap it off, I need to look at, so I'm putting on the glasses now so I can see the screen. I'm cheating a little bit. So I need to go through and remove all those leaves, and then I'll look at while I'm doing that, I'll have a look for any pests and disease, because I'm getting in really close, and just check how things are going. So really, yeah, just a walk around the garden to show you that we come out of it pretty good, which means the cameras are still rolling. And remember, if you got this far, let me know again in the comments box down below. Would you be interested in a coaching course for you? And if we get a lot of sort of commonality in that of similar subjects, or I can come up with something that I believe would be really helpful for people, we could look at the option of doing that. And that would be around about half an hour. So you get around about half an hour once a week for around about 6 weeks, something like that, going through a grow period. Let's have a think about it. Let me know. I don't want to keep raving on here. I'll see you at the next video real soon. Remember, there's cards around here. There's other videos. Make sure you check them out, because you can get highly educated and enjoy the videos along the way. Maybe you're watching on the TV like I like to do. All right, bye for now.